Hi there. This is a back catalogue review for Resident Evil 4 Remake released in March 2023. Now, my Steam library is full of games, some I've never even touched. The library anxiety is real, and the constant march of consumption is never ending. I am revisiting some of these old titles in my library, and I will discuss whether or not it is worth your time to do the same. I really have no idea what I'm doing, but I thought it might be nice to share my journey with some like-minded people and maybe have a conversation or two. The original RE4 was one of my favourite games during my teenage years, and it was my gateway to the horror genre. The remake probably won't surprise you if you have played the original, but the waves of nostalgia are truly delicious, and I devoured it piece by piece. The gameplay isn't breaking any molds. It is very much an upgrade from the original RE4. You can now move while shooting, and there is more versatility with knives, including a parry system which kindly prompts you when to initiate. It is really very simple, and perhaps a little too simple. You can stagger enemies and perform a massive kick to fell them, which can also knock down other threats. It is fun to risk charging at a staggered enemy and either successfully kicking them or running out of time and getting yourself into bother. Truthfully though, a lot of sections can be unsurprising and the AI predictable at best. The gunplay is tight and responsive with a large array of weapons and upgrades at your disposal. One of my favourite parts of the journey is the treasure hunting, selling said treasure and upgrading your arsenal. Stealth has been added, but honestly it's only good for getting the drop on your first enemy and you can utilise it in some areas. Maybe on the hardest difficulties it might be more important, but your knife degrades as you use it and it's best to keep it usable for when you get grabbed. You can consume a lot of your ammo very quickly, which builds tension between areas. Inventory management is on point, which is to be expected. Nothing like keeping your case organised, if you know what I mean. But is that a bit dated now? A crafting system was introduced. It's good because it pretty much lets you craft what ammo type you want, allowing you to play your way, most of the time, if you have the correct materials. Where the game really shines is the atmosphere. In many instances, it is incredibly creepy and unnerving. Capcom have done a great job of building tension that crescendos into complex set pieces. Whether they are more action focused, horror focused or narrative events, the payoff is consistently gratifying. Each act of the game is set in its own unique location, and enemy variety is constantly evolving. It forces you to adapt quickly to take down different groups of enemies, which keeps it fresh. I do think they could have done a bit more with the new areas added. They're not expanded quite enough, which seems as a missed opportunity. The plot is the same as the original, but if you haven't played before, it is more than serviceable, with great tropes and it escalates at a nice pace, culminating in a strong finale. The history of the area is really well documented, and if you so desire, you can get quite a lot from reading the lore from the scraps and books found. Another strong aspect of RE4 is its cast of characters, and your time with them. They bring that strong Resident Evil sense of humour and high campy drama, and it still manages to maintain the pressure. The main characters of this tale have all been brilliantly fleshed out for the remake, apart from the main antagonist sadly. There are less encounters with them as the original, and the fear that they instill just isn't as apparent as compared to the original. That being said, the baddies in the first two acts, plus another, are mint. The interactions and cutscenes with Leon work brilliantly at upping the terror and momentum of the plot, and you really want to kill him. The graphical changes are a delight too, especially in the character models. It ran brilliantly in my aging gaming PC, and I had no real issues at running it at 60 FPS. There are a litany of options to suit your rig, including DLSS and other expected features. The audio is great too. The quiet but impactful soundtrack rattles your nerves, with creepy whispers which keep your heart rate up. It always leaves you expecting an ambush. In the big set pieces, the soundtrack will really pick up and it adds great momentum and drama to events. Now the currency in which I review the games I play is time. Is the game worth your time? If it is already in your library, you've already paid for it. If you're thinking of buying it, you are willing to spend the money. In a world where we're all too busy, time is our most valuable currency, and I hate it when people waste mine. Is the RE4 remake worth your time? Absolutely. If this is sitting in your library unfinished or untouched, you are doing yourself a disservice. There is a reason why the original has been released on so many platforms and why the Steam achievement for defeating the final boss is at 65%. It encapsulates so much about what I love in video games. Fun, intuitive, risk and reward combat, a good narrative and strong and fun characters. Also, Capcom managed to make the player curious to explore, and making exploration this satisfying in such a linear title is a triumph. The atmosphere is flawless, and in the same breath, it never takes itself too seriously. This is a solid recommendation from me. If you've enjoyed this video, or if it's helped you decide whether or not you want to play this game, please drop a comment, subscribe or a like. I'd really appreciate it. All the best.